Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
So what happens when celebrities become the leaders? When rappers, actors, and comedians are expected to provide guidance on serious social and political issues.
Stop worshiping celebrities so much. Just don't listen, pay attention. I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. So we got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous.
What's up, y'all? My name is Yusuf, and welcome back to The Garden Project. So, black people have a problem when it comes to the media. We want to be correctly represented in the media that we consume. We want to see people that we can easily relate to, people that we can easily identify with. Perhaps they came from the same families, communities, and have the same values that we share. And it feels good when you're able to say, that rapper or that comedian or that actress, although they're rich and famous and I'm not in that position, I feel related enough to be able to say, he's one of us, she's one of us, right? They came from the same community. And in some ways, our entertainers are not just entertainers to us. They're also signals of success. They're signals of approval and acceptance in the greater American society. Because we know that there was a time when they had to fight tooth and nail just to be accepted in their respective fields. People like Jackie Robinson, who had to go through hell just to be a baseball player. So his achievements are not just achievements in athleticism, but it's also an accomplishment in citizenship, in acceptance, and the right to be treated as a human being. And so we have that relationship with our entertainers, right? And because they have historically helped us achieve greater acceptance into American life. People like Muhammad Ali, who, became such a hero for so many people because he was a man of justice and truth, and he stood up to white supremacy in his face and motivated an entire generation to be strong. And so the black celebrity and black culture had this mutually benefiting relationship, right? On the one hand, the celebrity gets to be the famous superstar that they are. And on the other hand, they're helping the collective become more and more proud of who they are. But you see, there was always a problem that really just needed some time to surface. A problem that is causing some pain in the community, that brought some grief. And I say grief in a serious way because we've watched some of our most beloved entertainers and celebrities die right in front of us. People that we loved and celebrated and, championed to the best of our ability, say things that is so bizarre, you cannot even find a way to relate to it. And yes, I'm talking about Kanye West, okay? And the problem is because as much as we celebrated and supported and elevated these entertainers and celebrities, and as much as we related to what they were doing, we never controlled the means of production. That is, we never controlled the lights, camera, and action that was giving them all of the attention that they received. We are the direct consumers of their talent, of their music, of their art. And because we don't control the means of production, that means we don't cut the checks. And if you don't cut the checks, then you don't call the shots. And so naturally, if there's ever a conflict of interest, the celebrity has to make a decision, right? Do I stay with the community that built me up, or am I in a different class now? Because when Kanye West gets to sit at dinner with Donald Trump, he's not the same guy that you knew anymore. He's not the same hungry kid that you knew from Southside Chicago. And because we're not cutting the checks, that's why something like rap music slowly became diluted. It became something that was not anymore revolutionary or radical, because that's how it started. It started as a voice for the youth and a way to speak power to truth, speaking on injustices, political consciousness, getting people to, be aware of their surroundings. But then as it became commercialized and became part of the industry, gangster music all of a sudden became more famous because, well, that is what is profitable. And that's something that even Dave Chappelle joked about.
I don't even know why people listen to me. I'll say anything, nigga. I've done commercials for Coke and Pepsi. I don't give a fuck what comes out of my mouth. I just say what it takes. Whatever it takes, that's what I'm saying. If you want to know the truth, can't even taste the difference. Surprise!
Which then, of course, brings us to our main topic today, which is what happened to 50 Cent? What is wrong with Snoop Dogg? And most importantly, what happened to the king of them all, Kanye West? What is wrong with these people? That's the question that we ask ourselves sometimes, because it felt like you knew Kanye. It felt like you knew 50. It felt like you knew Snoop, right? Because at a time, these were our heroes, right? People that we looked up to. So how did 50 Cent go from being a poor kid in Queensbridge to becoming a man that renounces someone like Zoran Mamdani, who is trying to give the much needed support of healthcare and housing that, you know, people in his own community where he grew up in would greatly benefit from? How did Snoop Dogg go from telling the world that if you ever performed for Donald Trump, you're a punk and you're a sellout and an Uncle Tom, to then being himself the one that actually performed for Donald Trump?
Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out of one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? I'll be the one that performs for himself.
And how did Kanye West go from fighting against hypercapitalism?
It seemed we live in the American dream, but the people highest up got the lowest self-esteem. The prettiest people do the ugliest thing.
Fighting against George Bush.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Fighting against, you know, some evils in our communities.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food.
To then becoming a man that literally said that slavery was a choice.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and...
How did we get here? And I think the first reason behind this is we made an assumption. We made a mistake. We made a mistake based on race and ethnicity. We made a mistake based on all of the things that I was saying at the very beginning of this video, which is we related to them on the basis of the fact that they came from us, they're one of us. The mistake here is that just because they're black, we made the assumption that they will always be in our corner. But it was never about color, right? It was never about ethnicity. It was always about class. Once they found themselves in a different class, they're not black anymore, right? They've been accepted into a completely different bracket, if you will. And so now they just embody that image. And that's why 50 Cent can't really relate to the poor working class anymore, because he's so detached from that reality. That's why Snoop Dogg is going to perform for Donald Trump as long as the money is good, right? And I think that the second reason behind all of this is that we still don't own any of the means of production, right? When it comes to media, we're still behind. We still don't represent ourselves. We don't own any CNN. We don't own any Fox News. We don't even own BET, right? Like, and because we don't own media in a way that serves us, we're playing catch up, right? And so it comes to a point where it makes no sense to have any sort of expectation from any entertainer, any athlete, any musician that you like, because these people are not trained to be social political commentators. They should never be expected to tell you how to vote, to tell you how to mobilize. And then we as a collective should band together to create our own means of production, right? When it comes to media. And that's some of the work that I'm trying to do with this channel, right? Because media is so important. Rhetoric is so important. And if we don't have companies and people on the front line creating our own image and pushing our own agendas without having to resort to entertainers and, you know, actors and comedians to speak for us when it comes to serious social political issues, then we're always going to be playing catch up. But anyways, as always, thank you all for watching. The garden is growing fast, and to all the new members, welcome, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. I think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this. Where is Ja? Guide me, Ja Rule.